These are some really great books that you can read as a stay-at-home mom, IMHO. And for those of you who don't speak millennial, is that even millennial? In my humble opinion. I'm gonna save my absolute bestest, favoritist book of all time for the last. It's a book that I have read already a few times and I am reading it again right now. Hello everyone, welcome. Busca tu agua y tus libros, but you're gonna get these books after, so you have to get your books after. Busca tu agua y escuchen. Because I'm going to share some incredible books with you that you should keep on your bookshelf. And I'll show you my bookshelf. I am not a reread a book 50 times in a row type of person. I rarely read a book twice. So if I keep a physical book on my bookshelf and bring it with me from house to house to house to apartment, we've moved, let's see.
Nicaragua to Minnesota, Minnesota to North Dakota, North Dakota moved again, moved to Michigan, moved back to North Dakota, moved to Pennsylvania, moved to Texas, moved to another house in Texas.
At least 8 times in the last 6.5 years. You see what I mean? I do not take physical books, the weight of a physical book, lightly. It may be difficult for you to find time as a stay-at-home mom to read a physical book, but if you're like me and you get tired of the daily chores sometimes, a good audiobook can carry you through. So first book. I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. It says, he's named the new finance guru, but no guilt, no excuses, no BS, just a 6-week program that works. He says, buy as many lattes as you want, spend extravagantly on the things you love, live your rich life instead of tracking every last expense. This is definitely not your typical program. He lays it out as like a 6-week program. Depending how much time you have or whatnot, you can get it done kind of quicker than that, I think. In some areas, you can sit down and do it, and some areas are a little bit more time consuming, I guess. And this is the second edition. I did purchase the first edition and I got gifted the second edition because there are new stuff. This is from 2020, I think. It says copyright 2019, but I thought it came out in 2020. Anyway, this is an updated version. So there's updated info on like banks and credit cards and stuff. He talks more about conscious spending in basically your typical budgeting. As I read off the back, it talks about living a life that you love, live your rich life instead of pinching pennies and cutting back on lattes. He has a ton of experience already. He has a blog called IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com. Sends out great emails. He has a podcast as well called I Will Teach You to Be Rich, where he talks to couples who are struggling with money. So he dives into like good money tips, like actual things you can do. And then he also gets a little bit into like the beliefs of what money beliefs might be holding you back. Of course, finances are really important, especially when you get married. You have to figure out stuff together, and then when you have kids and you want to maybe be able to save up for your kids, or you know, you just have a little bit more expenses going on. So great money book. Second book I want to share with you, Deep Work by Cal Newport. This says rules for focused success in a distracted world. I think as moms, it's really easy for us to, in our like 2-minute breaks or 5-second breaks, we pull out our phone and go on social media a lot. And especially if you want to have something more out of your life and maybe work on some side projects, side hustle, just side passion, something that you're excited about, this can help pull some creativity out of your brain and make you feel kind of more of a sense of peace and not so much chaos all the time. Because Cal Newport, in this book, he talks about how social media has caused us to have such short attention spans and how we can't focus on a single thing for very long. And I feel like as moms, we're already kind of like that with having to think about so many things and juggle all these different roles in our life just day to day. So adding social media on top of that, the way we kind of fragment our brain even more so, I think this is really good. And yes, he does talk about actually taking like 1 to 4 hour chunks of time, which he calls spending time in deep work, which is really hard as moms, but I think it is important to do that once in a while, even if it's once a month. Some people, this may be more focused towards people who actually have a job where they need to be in an office and focus on a specific work role, but I think this is really good as moms even to read. Setting times that you'll actually spend on the internet instead of just, oh, I have 5 seconds, let me look at my phone. Maybe if you have 5 seconds, you should center yourself, breathe a little, and check in with your feelings, and then you'll feel less chaos throughout the day. So, great read. My battery is blinking red at me. What do you know? But hit the like button if you think, yes, that sounds really great to sit and spend 2 hours on one single thing. I sure, like, let me hit that like right now. The 5 love languages. I have this in Spanish. Los 5 lenguajes del amor. It says the secret to love that lasts, I think. El secreto del amor que perdura. So I bought this in Spanish because I had already listened to tape. I think I listened to tape actually in English with my parents in the car, but I wanted Tomas to read this. Anyway, this one is about how there are different types of love languages. Each person likes to show their love and receive love in different ways. There's words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. And basically, if I'm a quality time person, I feel loved by the people around me giving me quality time with them. Maybe we're just talking on the phone, maybe we're just sitting and chatting, maybe we're playing games together. And so I like to do those kind of things with the people that I love. But if my partner is a gifts type of person and he likes to give gifts, and I'm trying to spend quality time with him thinking, oh, I feel so much love, and he's not getting any gifts, then he's not gonna feel as loved as maybe I feel. I don't know if I explained that very well, but basically you want to show your love to somebody by figuring out what love language they have and giving them mainly that type of love so that they feel more loved. I hope I explained that más o menos. Alrighty. Also, I still have the sticker on it, Thrift Books. I love Thrift Books, is great. So great. Comment below if you know what your love language is. I think mine is quality time, and then maybe after that would be physical touch. Or also comment down below if you've ever heard of this or not. I'd be really interested to know. Okay, next is How to Raise a Happy Family. Oh, by Brian Helmanen. It says, a parent's guide with stories, tips, and advice. Number 1, avoid common parenting mistakes. Number 2, nurture happy kids. And number 3, create healthy relationships. It's a great picture on the front and on the back. Who's the happiest? A fun exercise to engage your kids and encourage excitement, fun, and happiness. Ask your kids who's the happiest. Teach them that to be the happiest, they need to show you their most happy, smiling face for as long as they can. So this book it says many true short stories that illustrate a point from the perspective of a dad who has shared in the responsibility of raising 15 kids. By learning from his mistakes, you can raise happy, self-confident, and successful kids who will reward you with their love. Yeah, this is a really fun book. Bunch of little stories, little advice things, talking about goals, family meetings, just things to kind of get your family in running order. Less chaos, more order. This is one thing that I really like. I'm just gonna share this really quick. It says DWYPYWD. Do what you promised you would do. And I think this has been something that I always felt very strongly when I was little, is if an adult told me they were gonna do something and they didn't do it, it really hurt me, especially like quality time type of stuff. But I really practice this with my daughter. I only tell her things if I'm sure that we can do it, or I try to promise her things that I know I can fulfill. So if I tell her we're gonna go to the park, then I definitely go to the park. Or if we can't go to the park, I just tell her, hey, we can't go today, maybe we can go tomorrow. But I don't say, for sure we're gonna go tomorrow if I don't know if we can go tomorrow. Ya sabes, ya entiendes. I love this book. I'm going to link all of these books down below if you're interested in checking them out. Thrift Books, it's great because you can buy a very decent book. Like this has no, I think it has some highlight marks in the beginning, but other than that, this book was like perfect condition and you get it for way less than full price. So that's awesome. We're all about saving money here. The next book is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Oh my goodness. This book will mess with your brain. I'm not even sure how to really explain this. It says the journey beyond yourself, which is yes. It says, what would it be like to be free from limitations and soar beyond your boundaries? What can you do each day to find this kind of inner peace and freedom? So I guess this is mostly about just creating that inner peace, which definitely is important as a mom. We need to be peaceful and loving in order to care for our kids, especially when all the chaos is going on around us. We need to find that inner calm and be that rock for our kids. So it walks you through your relationship with your thoughts and emotions, helping you uncover the source and fluctuations of your inner energy. Talks about your habitual thoughts, emotions, and energy patterns that may limit you, and opens the door to a life lived in the freedom of your innermost being. This is just incredible. It's like so much to take in though, that I feel like you read it once and you'll be like, whoa, mind blown. And then you go read it again and start taking notes. You read it again and you start implementing and realizing things that you didn't realize the first couple times around. It's fascinating. I love this book. Here's my bookmark. I'm reading it again. I'm almost done. Page 132, but very, very, very interesting. And if you need help implementing stuff or would like outside accountability, you can click on this video here. We've been doing a weekly mastermind. You can join along with us. So I'll see you on Tuesday with another mastermind and then next Saturday. Thanks for watching. Let me know your favorite book if you've read any of these books down below, and we'll see you next time. Bye.